Hi, and welcome back to our 21 question series of questions that we would ask an estate planning attorney if we were hiring one. So again, my name is Scott Stork with Polaris Law Group, and this is my partner, Raymond Chandler. And first, before we get started, remember to sign up for our channel so that you get all of the videos in this series. Go to the subscribe button and click on that. So today's question is, how do you charge for your services? And that's an important question. So Ray, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so of course it's an important question. You always want to know what you're getting into before you sign any contracts or representation matters and understand what you're going to look at in terms of fees. So the way attorneys charge for their services differs for every law firm, every attorney, and how it works. But there's kind of a couple ways that most people do it. One is an hourly rate. So that just means you pay a certain rate, and for every minute that attorney is working, they charge you some time. So many attorneys are going to charge at a sixth of an hour. So every minute is 0.1, and every time you call the attorney, it's a time that they put on the books. Every time you email the attorney, it's time that they put on the books. Every time the attorney is looking at your documents, looking at your file, looking at anything in order to fulfill your case, they charge you for the time. So the clock is always ticking on those type of cases. So that's kind of the con of that, is that you never know what you're going to be charged at the end because you're not sure how long it's going to take. And honestly, in the estate planning world, that kind of breeds in some inefficiencies. If an attorney gets paid hourly, then what's their role in terms of making the documents faster, easier, and get them to you as quick as they can, because they're getting paid for their time, not their effort. So then the other way, we don't see this very often, but we've seen it before, is by the document. So if I give you a power of attorney, it's this much. If I give you a trust, it's this much. If I give you a power of attorney and a trust and a will, it's this much. And it's all based on just what the documentation is. And you get per document, here's the charge. We see that a lot of times on the online programs and things like that. Not too many of the attorneys around here do that we know of. But again, if you're getting into that, then are you going to leave out a document that you actually need that you didn't know you needed because it's going to cost you additional money and it doesn't sound like you need it? Are you looking at your plan overall when you're getting charged by the document, or are you looking document by document by document, things of that nature? So again, important to know that if you're going to pay that way, you may miss something simply because you don't want to add it on to your plan. And then the kind of final way most attorneys in the estate planning world charge is a flat fee. So that's basically for your planning, every document that goes into your specific planning, here is what the fee is going to be. And whether it takes us, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, whatever that looks like, here's the fee. So it's really good because you do know what the fee is going to be going into it. To get my estate plan done, here is the cost. Now, one of the problems with that is you have to know what's included with that. So does that include phone calls? Does that include follow-up? Does that include funding? Does that include settlement support? Does that include maintenance? What does that flat fee entail? What does it include? And so you're going to want to sit down with your attorney that you're hiring at the time, and if they have you a flat fee, really dig into what does that flat fee include. Because sometimes you're going to say, here's the flat fee, what does that include? Just the documentation. If you have any questions about it, we're going to charge you hourly after that. What does that include? Just the documentation, no funding whatsoever. If you have any questions about funding, we'll charge you hourly for that. So you want to make sure when you sit down and look at the fees that you know what you're getting into. So it's very important, of course, to know what you're going to pay for your estate plan, what you're going to get into, what the investment is. So remember, it's an investment in your family, not just a cost. It's an investment for you. So it's important to know that ahead of time, of course. And so, Scott, how do we charge for our clients?
Yeah, so like Ray said, it's an investment, and really the one thing that we talk to clients about first and foremost is it's not an investment in documents, it's an investment in a plan. And so it's important to make sure that the time that's necessary to take to understand a client's goals, to understand what a client wants to get to understand what the issues might be, are part of that. So like Raymond said, we've got many attorneys who charge a flat fee. We do the same thing. So we charge a flat cost to invest in your estate plan, and that really, when we give that to you, includes everything. It includes talking to you and understanding what your goals are. It includes the design of your plan. It includes the actual documents themselves. And should we go on and help you with funding, it's going to also include the cost to fund your plan. And from there, we continue to work with many clients on an ongoing basis, and all of those costs are flat cost also. So we pretty much do everything in this law firm as a flat cost basis. We've found that clients like that a lot more. They understand the cost that's going to be included. They understand what all of the steps are, and it really helps a client feel comfortable and know that when they are doing their estate, either they're not going to have a whole bunch of hours that are put into it that they're being charged for, or that somehow the attorney who's helping them is going to rush through to try to minimize the amount of hours they're going to put into it. So flat cost is the best way to do estate planning, and that's how we work.
Yeah. And the other thing about flat cost is really we don't want you scared to call. And so if you're doing an hourly rate, it's always scared to call the attorney because you're going to get charged for it. Most flat rate attorneys don't want you scared to call them and ask your questions, and that's important in the estate planning world. So our next video, what we're going to talk about next time, is digging into this a little bit more, and that is, what does your fee cover other than the document? So we talked about that a little bit today, but we're going to dig into that a little bit more in the next video. So again, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click your notification bell, get all your notifications, know when the next video is coming out. And again, we look forward to continuing our series of 21 questions we would ask an estate planning attorney if we were hiring them to do our estate plan. Again, I'm Raymond Chandler, and this is my partner Scott Stork. We're with Polaris Law Group out of St. Charles, Missouri. We'd love to help you out.